I've looked at the proposal which have been suggested by my good friend, and it gives us a way forward. If you look at the amendments, or rather the proposals by the committee, they were creating a huge disparity in this country. Mr. Speaker, sir, when some of us were bringing in our own amendments, we wanted a situation where we can minimize the losses. What Senator Linturi has done is to try and bring sanity and to ensure that we are one nation. Mr. Speaker, sir, if you compare, and I have a lot of respect for Senator Wamatangi, and I heard him quoting the Constitution and looking at the parameters. What we are doing in this House is that we are taking into consideration the proposals given to us by CRA, and we've made changes to them. Mr. Speaker, sir, if you go through the parameters, and this is why I feel greatly honored to further second the amendments brought by Senator Linturi, is because they have reduced the disparity. Mr. Speaker, sir, where a county was losing 2 billion, a county is now losing 177 million. This will help that county continue with their services uninterrupted. Mr. Speaker, sir, where Narok County was losing 853 million, with the proposal brought by my dear brother here, I'm now only losing 130. Mr. Speaker, sir, Article 217 talks of a basis. It doesn't even talk of a formula. It talks of a basis. And that is why we came with the base and say, what Senator Linturi is now proposing is that we have a base of 270 billion, which should be shared with all the counties. And then the different, the 41.6 billion, be applied using the following parameters. Where CRA, or rather where the committee had proposed that we consider the population with 16%, Senator Linturi has maintained that parameter. Where he said health at 20%, Senator Linturi has gone down by 1% to 19%. Mr. Speaker, sir, where it has actually helped us a lot is really squarely on the land parameter, where the committee was bringing it down to 5% and capping it down and also introducing a square root. Senator Linturi has gone further and now said, let us maintain what the CRA recommended. Mr. Speaker, sir, when I hear us talking about the issue of data, statistics, I wonder which country in the whole world that promotes devolution, that reduces a county into a square root, into a circle. Mr. Speaker, sir, that data does not exist. So when my dear friend and colleague talks about data, I think I would be very happy to see a data that is brought into this House that says reduce the size of Narok from a 17,000 square kilometer to 146 square root. Mr. Speaker, sir, this proposal is giving us a way out. One of the reasons why I agreed to support Senator Linturi is because when I looked at the recommendations by CRA, they had a rider. They said government to apply another 15% to cushion counties. That advice, my amendments, which are still on the order paper, which I may now consider once we are done with this, took about 10% of that to cushion counties losing. But what Senator Linturi did is that he said, we don't want people to say they are losers and they are winners. Let us use this base of 270 billion, and the 46 billion, let us use so that those ones who are gaining so much gain just a little. Those who are losing, lose just a little. And Mr. Speaker, sir, those numbers are here. If you look at the county that loses the most is Mandera, which now loses only 245 million shillings. And the county that gains the most is the county of Kiambu, which my dear good friend, Senator Wamatangi, comes from, which now gains 160 million shillings. Mr. Speaker, sir, I've listened to various arguments. I've listened to arguments of population. And it really begs the question. If population equals the amount of revenue that a county generates, why is it that only 5 counties out of the 47 counties only raise revenue above 1 billion shillings? So, Mr. Speaker, sir, this is an issue that we all must be willing to lose some and win some, gain some and lose some. This is the way forward. This is a position for us now to also relax our position. Mr. Speaker said the best option was Sakaja's option, where no county was losing. Every county was gaining. But now when they bring in the other issues of population increase and everything, we said, okay, fair enough. Let's do this. We are willing to recede our ground and say, let us now admit what my dear brother, Senator Linturi, and I thank the people of Meru. And I want to tell the people of Meru that they have a senator, a leader, who clearly reads Article 96 of the Constitution, that is here to protect the interest of counties and their government. Mr. Speaker, sir, I raised issues. When I came into this house, the first thing I said is that this is indeed the House of Union. Because it doesn't matter how many you are. There's only one delegation, one vote. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, what Senator Linturi is doing to this country is giving us a way forward. Because those who are supporting the committee report are doing so not knowing, or rather knowing, that they'll create a huge disparity in this country. What Senator Linturi has done is something honorable. And that is why I stand here today proudly to say that I second his further amendment to our position because it unites this country. A child in Mandera, whose governor has already made a budget to ensure that the child in the farthest part of Mandera...
What's your intervention? Is it now? Okay, I can see you. Okay.
I don't want to interfere. Yes, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, a child in Mandera deserves everything that a child in Kiambu has, or an opportunity. It saddens me when I hear debates where people keep on talking about, forgetting about them. If we were indeed genuine, what we should be doing is to make sure that a child in Mandera can be able to say, I have a brother in Meru, I have a brother in Narok. And that brother in Narok or Meru can be able to get access to the same services that I have here. Mr. Speaker, sir, Senator Linturi's proposal, and I want to tell Kenyans this, now softens our ground. Because we were of the opinion that since there's no more revenue being collected because of COVID and other circumstances, which also include corruption, what we can do now is, since we cannot continue getting the same amount of money that we are getting in the last financial year, since that one is making other people think that, no, it's not the way to go, or there are more Kenyans than others, those who are gaining, gain a little. Those who are losing, lose a little. Mr. Speaker, sir, in my proposals, actually, it was only going to cushion counties that were losing. But when I saw Senator Linturi's proposal, then I said it's a win-win situation for everyone. And that is what even our other leaders outside there have been talking about. Win-win. Everybody should be happy. We all go home. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, as I finalize, I want to beseech my dear colleagues from both sides of the aisle for you to think about this country as one, not as those who have and those who have none, but as a country that can be able to accept that change is the only thing which is constant, and that since we cannot be able to raise more revenue, let us go with this further amendment brought by Senator Linturi, who is from Meru, so that the Merians in Narok, who are doing great business there, can be welcome there.